They called it a state of emergency. They said it was about peace and stability. But what if I told you it was a political chess game, with Fubara as the pawn and the River State politics is the main target? Today, we uncover the untold story on why Governor Fubara was suspended and reinstated 6 months after. This is Blackish Gold Originals, and to our returning subscribers, thank you for always coming back for more eye-opening episodes every single day. Let's deep dive immediately. From the very moment Siminalayi Fubara was elected governor of Rivers State in May 2023, many saw him as more than a rookie. He was widely viewed as the candidate handpicked by his predecessor, Wike, the powerful FCT minister and former Rivers State governor. During the PDP selection process in 2023, Wike reportedly backed Fubara financially and politically over other aspirants, even covering nomination forms for several PDP ticket hopefuls. That support planted seeds of influence that critics say never fully left Wike's shadow. Now let's look at the Rivers State House of Assembly. Wike loyalists held the vast majority. Out of 32 seats, 27 lawmakers are loyal to Wike, while only 4 were identified with Fubara. This imbalance made the assembly heavily biased toward Wike-aligned political interests. Major tensions erupted. On March 17, 2025, the assembly, led by Speaker Martin Amaewule, issued a notice of allegations of gross misconduct against Governor Fubara and his deputy, Ngozi Odo. The notice was signed by 26 lawmakers and cited violations of sections 120, 121, 122 of the Nigerian Constitution, among others, accusing Fubara of abuses in office. These moves were widely and clearly understood not just as governance disputes, budget delays, legislative overreach, but as part of the larger power struggle between Wike's camp and Fubara, attempting to assert independence. Some say this wasn't just Rivers politics, while others accuse Abuja of quietly watching and waiting for Fubara to slip, hence giving Wike and his loyalists room to make moves, all while the federal government considered its options. But why did President Tinubu step in so quickly? Was it really about keeping the peace or something bigger? When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu stepped into the Rivers crisis, Tinubu has always played his politics like a chessboard, moving pieces, building loyalty, and tightening his national grip. Some analysts argue that his swift involvement wasn't just to protect Rivers, but to signal to other states that no political crisis happens outside his radar. Was this a masterclass in consolidation of power, or was it a genuine attempt to stabilize democracy? Could Tinubu's presence be the deciding factor that keeps Fubara afloat, or will Abuja's shadow eventually weigh heavier than even Wike's godfather grip? Fact-based reporting shows that while under suspension, Fubara stayed relatively quiet in terms of legal confrontation. In a statewide broadcast after his reinstatement, he admitted that he resisted pressure to challenge the emergency declaration as unconstitutional. He also stated that, despite the political impasse, his administration ensured that good governance continued, salaries were paid, and projects were still being executed. He made a public appearance soon after suspension. On March 23, 2025, attending a prayer session in Port Harcourt, surrounded by elders and stakeholders, signaling that he was staying visible. Albeit carefully, rumors and speculative angles add intrigue. Some believe Fubara was using this time to quietly build alliances, reaching out to influential elders, business leaders, and stakeholders in the oil sector, so that his return wouldn't be as powerless as appearance might suggest. Another whisper claims there was a tacit or semi-secret understanding between Fubara and President Tinubu. Fubara would accept suspension, or at least refrain from outright legal challenge, to avoid broader unrest, and in return would be restored once conditions, legislative cooperation, stability, possibly negotiations behind the scenes were met.
Former governor and FCT minister Wike, despite the truce reportedly brokered between the political godfather and his protege.
So, finally, on September 17th, 2025, President Bola Tinubu lifted a 6-month state of emergency in Rivers State, restoring Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy Ngozi Nma-Odu, and all 31 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. The emergency had begun on March 18th, 2025, following a breakdown in governance. Budget approvals were stalled, the legislature was split 27. Lawmakers opposed Fubara, versus only 4 aligned with him, and key state functions were paralyzed. Over 40 lawsuits had been filed in courts in Port Harcourt, Abuja, and Yenagoa, challenging the emergency declaration. Now, while democracy is officially restored, many wonder, did Fubara return with full power or under new constraints imposed by those who held the reins during those suspended 6 months? The real story of Governor Fubara's suspension and return isn't just about legality or peacekeeping. It's about the game beneath the game. At the center is President Bola Tinubu, a man known for political survival. He found himself in a delicate position. Wike, the former governor of Rivers and now a powerful minister, remains one of his strongest allies in Abuja. Alienating Wike could fracture his inner circle, but letting Rivers, Nigeria's oil-rich heartbeat, descend into chaos was never an option. Tinubu's solution? A balancing act. By suspending both Fubara and the assembly, he pressed the pause button, cooling tensions without openly picking sides. For Fubara, silence became a strategy. Many mistook his lack of resistance for weakness, but in truth, he avoided being cast as the aggressor. By stepping back, he denied his enemies the fight they wanted, and when the storm passed, he returned without the stain of rebellion. The bigger picture is clearer. Rivers is not just another state. It is oil, it is money, it is leverage in the 2027 elections. Abuja needs it calm, yes, but more importantly, it needs it under firm control. So, was Fubara's suspension really about peace? Or was it a silent war for control of Nigeria's oil heartland? Was Tinubu protecting democracy or rewriting the rules of it? Tell me in the comment section. Do you think Fubara came back as a stronger governor or just another pawn in a bigger game? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Finally, watch the next video on your screen now.